Hey there. We're all used to AI helping us out these days, like think Copilot suggesting code or ChatGPT whipping up a poem. But what if your AI could actually do things on your computer?
Like booking a whole vacation
Yeah,
or filing your expense
it's a
reports.
whole different ball game, right?
Right. We're talking about AI agents that don't just understand information, but can actually interact with the digital world, make decisions, and take action.
Exactly. And that's what we're deep diving into today. Microsoft's Windows Agent Arena. They've created this whole research project dedicated to developing and testing AI agents that can use Windows apps, just like we do.
It's a massive undertaking. Imagine trying to teach a robot to navigate all the complexities of a computer interface.
Right.
These agents have to see the screen, understand what they're looking at, text, buttons, icons, then actually click, type, open apps, all to achieve some goal.
It's like they're learning to play a video game, but the game is our entire digital world. And Microsoft has really gone all out building this virtual arena to run a ton of these agents at the same time, all trying to complete different tasks.
It's a brilliant approach because it allows researchers to test and compare different types of agents and see what works best.
Mm.
Imagine trying to train hundreds of these agents individually. It would take forever.
Yeah.
This cloud parallelization dramatically speeds up the research process.
So it's not just about building cool AI, it's
No.
about building it efficiently. And speaking of cool AI, what kind of stuff are they actually getting these agents to do?
Well, they've designed over 150 different tasks for these agents to tackle. And they haven't just gone to the easy stuff. They've included everything from basic web browsing to editing documents, even getting creative in Paint.
Okay, so they're not just checking boxes.
Right.
They're really putting these agents through their paces.
Yeah.
But I'm dying to see this in action.
Well, you're in luck. They've actually released videos of the agents working their magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty mind-blowing to watch them navigating menus, clicking buttons, and typing commands, all without any human intervention.
Okay, I'm sold. Let's see what these digital wizards can do. Whoa! That was impressive. It figured out exactly where to go, downloaded the extension, and even restarted VS Code when it needed to. I could definitely use an agent to handle my software updates.
It's amazing to see how far this technology has come. But what's really interesting is that these agents aren't just programmed with specific instructions for each task. They're actually learning and adapting, using a combination of supervised and reinforcement learning techniques.
So they're not just following a script, they're actually figuring things out on their own.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, and it makes me wonder, what are these agents really good at right now? What kind of tasks have they nailed?
Well, they're particularly good at tasks that involve specific step-by-step instructions. For instance, they can easily enable privacy settings in Edge, switch your default search engine to Bing, even change default recording folders. All things that we often have to dig through menus to find.
Okay, so they're masters of the mundane. I can already see how this could free up a ton of time, but I'm guessing they're not perfect, right? What are some of the things that trip them up?
You're right, even the most advanced agents are still works in progress. The best ones are only solving about 20% of the tasks flawlessly,
Yeah,
compared to about 75% for a human.
yeah.
It just goes to show how complex it is to truly understand and interact with the computer environment.
Yeah, I guess it's easy to take for granted how much intuition and common sense we use when navigating our digital world. So what's the bottleneck here? What's holding these agents back from achieving that human-level performance?
Well, it really boils down to the challenge of converting visual information into actionable insights. The agent has to see the screen and understand the context of what it's seeing, and that's where things can get tricky.
So it's not just about recognizing buttons and text, it's about understanding what those things actually mean in the context of a specific task.
Exactly. And to do that, they use a two-step process. First, they use a model called OmniParser to analyze the screen. It's kind of like the agent's eyes, scanning the screen and breaking down the visual information into text, icons, and image regions.
Okay, so that's how they see, but how do they decide what to do with all that information?
That's where the real brain power comes in, a powerful language model called GPT-4v. OmniParser feeds all that visual information to GPT-4v, which then tries to figure out the best course of action based on the task at hand.
So OmniParser is the eyes and GPT-4v is the brain, making sense of it all and coming up with a plan.
Exactly. But even with this powerful combination, things can still go wrong. Sometimes the agent might misinterpret the visual information, or GPT-4V might come up with a plan that doesn't quite work in practice.
It sounds like there's a lot of room for error. So even with all this fancy AI, they still mess up sometimes. Give us some examples. What kind of fails are we talking about?
Well, one example is the task of drawing a red circle in paint. Seems like a simple enough task for a human, but it turns out to be quite challenging for the agent to execute those precise mouse movements and color selections.
So even something as basic as drawing is tricky. What other kind of errors do they make?
Another interesting example is changing an edge profile name. This is where those reasoning errors can pop up. The agent might understand the concept of a profile name, but get confused about how to navigate the menus or input the new name correctly.
So it's like they have the knowledge, but not always the know-how. It's fascinating to see where they excel and where they struggle. And I bet watching these failures is just as valuable for the researchers as watching the successes.
Absolutely. By analyzing these failures, they can identify the agent's weaknesses and develop strategies to overcome them.
It's like they're constantly learning and evolving, just like we do. But all this raises some interesting questions, especially about where this technology is headed.
It really makes you wonder, what's the next step for these AI agents? Are they going to be our digital assistants, taking over all the tedious tasks we hate doing?
Now, that's a future I could get behind. Just imagine, no more sifting through endless emails, struggling with clunky software, or wrestling with online forms.
Oh, yeah.
Our AI agents would handle it all, leaving us free to focus on the things we actually enjoy.
Exactly. Think about all the time we could save. We could be more productive at work, pursue creative hobbies, or simply spend more time with loved ones.
It sounds almost too good to be true. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. These agents are still pretty far from perfect, right?
That's true. But the progress they've made in just a few years is remarkable. And the research being done at Windows Agent Arena is accelerating that progress. They're constantly pushing the boundaries of what these agents can do.
So what's next? What kind of breakthroughs are we looking for in the near future?
Well, one of the most exciting areas of development is in natural language processing. Imagine being able to interact with your AI agent, just like you would with another person.
Okay, yeah.
You could simply tell it what you need, and it would understand and execute your request.
Wow, that would be a game changer. No more memorizing complex commands or clicking through endless menus. It would be like having a personal assistant who can anticipate your needs and seamlessly integrate with your digital life.
Exactly. And as these agents become more sophisticated, they could start collaborating with each other, forming complex networks that can solve problems far beyond the capabilities of any single agent.
So instead of having one agent for email, one for scheduling, and another for web browsing, they could all work together, sharing information and coordinating their actions.
Precisely. It's like having a team of digital experts working behind the scenes to make your life easier and more efficient.
Now, that's what I call a dream team. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the potential downsides. I mean, this all sounds pretty incredible, but are there any risks we should be aware of?
Of course. With any powerful technology, there are always potential risks.
Right.
One concern is the possibility of unintended consequences.
Oh, yeah.
As these agents become more autonomous, we need to make sure they are aligned with our values and goals. We don't want them to optimize for something that ends up being harmful or unethical.
So that's a really important point. We need to make sure these agents are working for us, not against us. It's like with any tool. It can be used for good or for bad.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to have open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of this technology. We need to develop guidelines and safeguards to ensure that AI agents are used responsibly and for the benefit of humanity.
It sounds like we need to find a balance between embracing the potential of this technology
Right.
while also being mindful of the risks.
Absolutely. It's not about being afraid of AI,
Yeah.
but about being thoughtful and proactive in shaping its development. We need to make sure it's aligned with our values and goals as a society.
And it's not just a technological challenge, it's
Yeah.
also a social and ethical one.
Yeah,
And it's one that we all need to be part of.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential benefits and risks of AI agents, but I'm curious, what are some specific applications beyond our personal computers that really excite you?
One area that has huge potential is healthcare. Imagine AI agents that can analyze medical data,
Right.
assist with diagnoses, and even personalized treatment plans.
Wow.
This could revolutionize how we approach healthcare, making it more accessible, efficient, and effective.
Wow, that would be incredible. It would be like having a team of expert doctors and researchers working around the clock to keep us healthy.
Exactly. And another area with massive potential is education. Imagine AI agents that can tailor learning experiences to each student's individual needs and abilities. This could help students learn more effectively and reach their full potential.
That's such an important point. Not everyone learns the same way, and AI could help bridge that gap, providing personalized support and guidance to every student.
Absolutely. And it's not just about personalized learning. AI agents could also automate administrative tasks, freeing up teachers to focus on what they do best, inspiring and mentoring their students.
So it's not about replacing teachers, it's about empowering them to be even more effective.
Exactly. And beyond healthcare and education, there are countless other areas where AI agents could make a difference. Think about transportation, where they could optimize traffic flow and reduce congestion, or manufacturing, where they could monitor equipment and prevent costly breakdowns.
The possibilities are truly endless. It's like we're on the cusp of a new era where AI is seamlessly integrated into every aspect of our lives.
And it all starts with research, like the work being done at Windows Agent Arena. By pushing the boundaries of what's possible, they're laying the foundation for a future where AI can help us solve some of humanity's greatest challenges.
It's inspiring to think about what we can achieve when we combine human ingenuity with the power of AI. But I'm curious, what are some of the challenges that researchers are still grappling with? What are the biggest hurdles to overcome?
One of the biggest challenges is ensuring that these agents are robust and reliable. We need to make sure they can handle unexpected situations, adapt to changing environments, and recover from errors gracefully.
So it's not just about getting them to perform specific tasks, it's about making sure they can think on their feet and deal with the complexities of the real world.
Exactly. And another challenge is making sure these agents are secure and trustworthy. We need to prevent them from being hacked or manipulated, and we need to ensure they are used ethically and responsibly.
That's a crucial point. We need to build trust and transparency into these systems from the ground up.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And that's why it's so important to have interdisciplinary collaborations between computer scientists, ethicists, social scientists, and policymakers.
Mhm.
We need to approach this technology from multiple perspectives to ensure that it benefits society as a whole.
It sounds like there's a lot of work to be done, but also a lot of potential for positive impact. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something a little more concrete. Earlier, we were talking about how these agents learn and adapt. Can you dive a little deeper into that? How do they actually acquire new skills and improve their performance?
It's a fascinating process. That involves a combination of different machine learning techniques. One approach is supervised learning, where the agent is trained on a data set of labeled examples.
Okay.
For instance, it might be shown a series of screenshots and told which actions to take in each situation.
So it's like giving them a digital textbook and having them study for a test.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as they process more and more examples, they start to learn the patterns and rules that govern the digital world.
But can they learn beyond those specific examples? Can they generalize and apply their knowledge to new situations?
That's where reinforcement learning comes in. In this approach, the agent is placed in a simulated environment and allowed to experiment with different actions.
Okay.
It receives rewards for successful actions and penalties for mistakes. And over time, it learns to optimize its behavior to maximize its rewards.
So it's like giving them a virtual playground and letting them learn through trial and error.
Exactly. And this approach is particularly effective for tasks that are difficult to program explicitly, such as navigating complex interfaces or interacting with dynamic environments.
It sounds like a powerful combination. Supervised learning provides a foundation of knowledge, and reinforcement learning allows them to refine and adapt that knowledge based on real-world experience.
Precisely. And by combining these techniques, researchers are pushing the boundaries of what AI agents can achieve.
It's incredible to think about the potential here. We're talking about AI that can learn, adapt, and potentially even reason on its own.
It's a truly exciting time to be working in this field, and I believe we're only scratching the surface of what's possible.
So we've explored the amazing capabilities of these AI agents, the challenges they still face, and the ethical considerations we need to be mindful of. But I'm curious, what about the broader implications for society? How do you think this technology will impact our lives in the years to come?
Well, I believe AI agents have the potential to transform nearly every aspect of our lives.
Wow.
They could automate tedious tasks, personalize our digital experiences, and even help us solve some of the world's most pressing problems.
It sounds like we're talking about a future where technology is no longer a source of frustration and distraction, but a true partner in helping us achieve our goals and live more fulfilling lives.
That's the vision, and research like Windows Agent Arena is paving the way for that vision to become a reality.
It's inspiring to see how far we've come, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. But before we get too carried away with the possibilities, let's bring things back down to earth for a moment. We've been talking about all this amazing potential, but let's face it, sometimes even the simplest tech can be a pain. Like, how many times have you wrestled with a printer? Or spent an hour trying to figure out why your Wi-Fi isn't working?
Oh yeah, all the time.
It makes you wonder, even if we can create these super smart AI agents, will they actually be able to handle the messy reality of our tech lives?
It's a great point, and it highlights a crucial area of research. Making these agents more robust and adaptable, they need to be able to handle unexpected situations, recover from errors, and basically think on their feet.
So it's not enough for them to just follow instructions. They
No.
need to have a certain level of common sense and problem-solving ability.
Exactly.
Kind of like a tech-savvy friend who can always figure things out.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting. Researchers are exploring ways to give these agents a deeper understanding of the world, not just by feeding them data, but by teaching them to reason and make inferences like humans do.
So it's not just about memorizing facts, it's about understanding how things work and being able to apply that knowledge to new situations.
Precisely. And that kind of reasoning ability is essential if we want these agents to be truly helpful in our everyday lives.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here, but let's zoom out even further. We've talked about AI agents on our personal computers, and you've hinted at applications in healthcare and education, but where else could this technology go? What are some of the more mind-blowing possibilities?
Well, imagine a world where AI agents aren't just confined to our devices, but are actually embedded in the environment around us. Think smart cities that optimize traffic flow, buildings that adjust lighting and temperature based on occupancy, even factories that run autonomously.
Wow, that's some next-level stuff. It's like the Internet of Things, but on steroids, with AI agents as the brains of the operation.
Exactly. And as we gather more data and develop more powerful AI models, these networks of interconnected agents could become incredibly efficient at solving complex problems that we can't even imagine today.
It's both exciting and a little intimidating to think about how much potential this technology has. But like we discussed earlier, it's crucial that we approach it thoughtfully and responsibly. What steps can we take to ensure that these powerful AI agents are used for good?
Well, one crucial aspect is transparency. We need to understand how these agents are making decisions, what data they're using, and what their goals are. This will help us identify potential biases and prevent unintended consequences.
So it's kind of like shining a light on the inner workings of these AI systems so we can make sure they're operating ethically and in alignment with our values.
Exactly. And another important step is to establish clear guidelines and regulations for the development and deployment of AI agents. This will help ensure that they are used safely and responsibly.
It's like establishing traffic laws for the digital world, making sure everyone is playing by the rules, and that there are safeguards in place to prevent accidents.
Precisely. And ultimately, it's about fostering a culture of responsible innovation, where developers, policymakers, and the public are all engaged in a dialogue about the ethical implications of AI and working together to shape its future.
Well said. It sounds like we have a lot of work to do, but also an incredible opportunity to create a future where AI empowers us to live better, healthier, and more fulfilling lives.
Absolutely. And research like Windows Agent Arena is giving us a glimpse of what that future might look like.
It's been an amazing journey exploring this topic with you, and I feel like I've learned so much. But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought. We've talked about all the incredible things AI agents might be able to do in the future, but what about right now? What can our listeners do today to prepare for this AI-powered world?
That's a great question. And I think the most important thing is to stay informed and engaged. Learn about the different types of AI, the ethical considerations, and the potential impact on your industry and your life.
So it's about being proactive and taking ownership of our AI future.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and contribute to the conversation. The future of AI is being shaped right now, and we all have a role to play.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI agents. A huge thank you to you for sharing your expertise with us today.
It was my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. Remember to check out the links in our show notes if you want to delve even deeper into this fascinating topic. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep imagining the possibilities.